Welcome back to the Vocal Troubleshooter. Today we're going to talk about natural gifts. What if you don't feel that you are a naturally gifted singer? Or what if you are?
So today we're going to talk about naturally gifted singers. There is a lot of confusion. I have students who don't feel that they really possess any natural gift. And when they compare themselves to other untrained singers who they feel just naturally sound amazing, they open their mouth and they just sound great right out of the box. They feel discouraged and they wonder if this is really a fit for them, if this is something that they should be doing, if they don't have that natural gift and that natural ability. I have a little different take on that, and that is my experience is that people who are naturally gifted singers are accustomed to that feeling easy. It's just simple. The problem is that even when we're naturally gifted, and we're all naturally gifted at something, something that just comes really easily for us when we're born, that doesn't necessarily extend across every area within that realm. So, for example, if you were a baseball player, you might just be an incredibly naturally gifted pitcher, but you might not be so great at bat. So in order for you to rise to the level of being a professional baseball player and really getting signed by one of the major league teams, you would need to be able to develop the areas where you're not so naturally gifted. The problem I find with singers is that often they're so accustomed to that coming so easily to them that they're never really willing to dig in and do the work that they need to do in the areas where they're not so naturally gifted in order to rise to the level of being a professional singer. So, for example, you might have beautiful tone, but you might have a very limited range, or your ability to access your range is something that you have difficulty with. You may be very flexible and have a lot of athleticism to your voice and do a lot of quick little runs and riffs, which are great and sound fun and everybody loves, but you might struggle with pitch issues, and so on and so on. So there are any number of things that you could be very strong in one area but still need a lot of work in another. The problem is with people who are what we would consider naturally gifted, sound great as soon as they open their mouth, is that they just cannot accept that it's going to require a lot of work to develop these other areas. And it's this work that you need to put in order to reach the level of your potential and to really reach that, to fulfill your potential and to become a professional singer. So I actually find that people who are not so naturally gifted, who start out with an acceptance that this is going to take a lot of work and effort right from the beginning, really have a better shot at achieving a professional level and being successful than the people who are naturally gifted. I have a quote. I usually change the quote every week in my studio. And there's a quote that I post from Larry Bird, who was the exceptional basketball player from back in the day, and I don't know what he's doing now. He's like coaching or running some league or something. Anyway, and his quote from back then when he was MVP and so on of the Celtics was that success comes from taking your God-given talents and recognizing them and working your tail off to develop them into skills, and then using those skills to accomplish your goals. And so it's really the work ethic that you put in, the amount of effort and time that you put into developing those talents that's going to make the difference. The talents on their own are great, but they really aren't going to get you very far on their own. It really requires that work, that development of those skills, those talents into skills to make that turn into something that you can really use on a professional level. I look at singers, and if you think about the superstars of singers, people like Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, and Beyonce, let's say, these are three performers who are incredibly hard workers. I think you'd really be really strapped to try to find any performer who outworks or outworked these people. And they, of course, also had this God-given natural ability, which when you combine those two things together, you create these superstars, right? But even people who didn't necessarily have the greatest natural gift, but were really hard workers. So let's look at, let's say, Madonna. Madonna, whether you were a fan of Madonna or not, I don't think there's very few people that would argue that she is a superstar. And with that, of course, one of the hardest working performers that there's probably ever been. And so she has outperformed and out-succeeded many singers that you probably feel are much more vocally gifted than her. However, it's her work ethic. So work ethic, like most things, is going to work, to your benefit and really going to carry you where you want to be. So you want to dig in and do the work. Don't be afraid of whether or not you have the talent to do it. The work that you put in is going to pay off one way or another. It's going to take you where you want to go as long as you're not going to stop and you're not giving up. So dig in. Don't be afraid of whether or not somebody else sounds more naturally gifted than you out of the box. The work that you put in is the thing that's going to make the difference. And if you are naturally gifted, then you have a real challenge to dig into the areas where you're not so naturally gifted, where it's not so easy, and really raise to your full potential. All right. Hopefully this has helped you feel more encouraged to do the work, even when it's not easy. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Please make sure that you share the video, comment, like it, join us on Facebook, join us on, subscribe to this, and I'll see you next time.